Hey, family. Welcome back to Capacity. This week, God has really been working on me in one specific area, speaking less and observing more. Not in a silent treatment kind of way, but in a God teach me before I react kind of way. I've been realizing that not everything needs my immediate opinion. Not every situation requires a reaction. Sometimes the real power is in restraint. Sometimes silence is not weakness, it's wisdom. And while I've been practicing speaking less, I've also been learning not to take everything so personal. That's a word right there in itself. Because let's be honest, sometimes the story we tell ourselves about a situation is way louder than what's actually happening. Somebody don't respond quick enough. And suddenly our mind is writing a whole dramatic script. I'm guilty of that. I do that. I'm going to just say that and be real. Somebody's tone sounds a little off, and now we convinced it's about us. But sometimes it's not personal. It just is. I don't have to attach my own narrative to everything. That alone has been freeing for me. But let me tell you something. In the middle of that lesson, I've also been experiencing so much grace, especially in my marriage. My husband, Aaron, has been loving me so well in this season, and I've been submitted to him, willingly, joyfully, and not forcefully. Because submission isn't weakness, submission is agreement with protection, it's alignment. And when we're aligned, I'm saying though, there's more grace, there's more peace, and there's more laughter. Happy husband, happy wife. And not just in marriage, right? I've been feeling love from my family, friends too. Support, encouragement, little things that remind me that God doesn't just show up in miracles, He shows up in people. Now, listen, I'm not saying everything has been all the way perfect. A few storms definitely tried to come through, and ruin my household. But, in here we serve the Lord, and I already know where we stand when we do that. But the difference is now I recognize I do have that umbrella. Storms don't scare me when I know I'm covered. And I'm speaking of alignment and covering. And I want to bring the man who's been walking this journey with me, my husband, Aaron, in. Right? So, babe, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm doing good.
How's your week been?
We've been good. It's going good. Everything good.
You had any problems this week?
I ain't had no problems.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay, well, that's great. I'm glad you haven't had any. It's wonderful news. So, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you taking your time on your busy Saturday to sit here and fill these shoes with me. So, as you've been listening, I want to start with just, getting your perspective about alignment. Let's flow. So, let's start here. How would you describe alignment in marriage from your perspective?
From my perspective, I feel like the old school saying, the man is the head and the wife is his helper.
I mean, that's what make us flow. Because the old school saying, he was raised like that, you the man of the house and you run it, I guess, or whatever. But okay, so I do agree with that because that's how you got this going and it's going well. And I submit to it. So
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. And you're very welcome. Okay. And how do you make sure we stay aligned even during busy or challenging seasons? I'm gonna say busy season, like for instance, like sometimes work every day, Monday through Friday. We'll see each other in the morning, then sometimes we won't see each other till maybe like 9 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? And in that instance, I'm saying, how do you make sure we stay aligned in those busy times?
Got so many things going on and you got so many things going around you that you feel like you can't stay focused. You just gotta stay focused on what you're achieving, what you're doing, what you're pursuing.
Because there are things that you do that make us like keep flowing, even if it is busy. And I know you coming home late from work, right? There are certain things I know from my perspective that you do, like you'll come home, you'll embrace me,
Right.
and if it's something that the households need, you have it, and you make sure that I'm comfortable, even when you see I may be a little agitated. So that is something that I see that you do to keep us like on a positive path.
Right. I agree.
So in that question, even when it's challenging, what do you do to keep us aligned? Like when we messed up, right?
Yeah.
When we're arguing and everything, what do you do to make sure that we don't go?
We like make jockey with each other, make each other laugh. You know, think about something that happened in the past that made us laugh or just current.
I can dig that. I do.
Okay, now let's be real. We don't agree on everything.
We don't.
When conflicts arise, how do you balance leadership, accountability, and love?
I mean, when it comes to leadership, I say, can't, if I'm not aligned, if I'm not right, I'm not going to be able to do it. So I keep myself a distance, and when it comes to leadership, balancing that here, because I know you have it, you have to have it first because that's how this is designed to be. I let you have it like 78% of the time. All right. And then accountability, sometimes accountability is a huge word, but holding myself accountable for what I've done or what I've caused, especially when we're arguing or if it's something we don't agree on, I'm not handling like an adult,
Right.
you know, balancing all that together, even with love, it's like I got to talk to God and I got to be in his presence. I got to ask him what to do. Because when I try to do it by myself, it's not right. Like you shaking your head right now. Like, okay. So, Mr. Jones, being a married man comes with responsibilities and challenges. How do you stay grounded and focused on God when temptation comes?
Like, you know how when you study for a test and you know you're going to be ready for the test?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like that. Sometimes when God like give me a test for temptation, what I'm gonna do with this temptation, how I'm gonna act on it, if I'm gonna act on it. So I think to stay grounded and focus on God when temptation comes, you just gotta think about other stuff. As for me, I think about other stuff. Like uh, I'm married to my lovely wife, as you know, on this podcast. And I could be in the store, I can see another beautiful woman, but I can just pass by her and not even look at her and be thinking about some other stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
I can take care of my house, what my wife need, what my dog need, what
Mm-hmm.
my house need. That's what I do. I think about how I can make, my family happy instead of worrying about, temptation or negative things or things that don't apply to, my life or my family.
Word. Appreciate it. Thank you for being that kind of brother, even when I'm not around. No, for real though, because I mean, it can be difficult out here because the world is a very aggressive place. They become less and less respectful of marriage, and it is difficult being married, not from this inside place, because now this is, like I said, this has been a great season, but on the outside, because people will still, even if they see, and people know, they'll still attempt. Like, it's like no respect for it. It's no regard, and that's why I say again. I know myself. I stay grounded, and I gotta stay rooted, because I mean, being aligned with you. If I'm aligned with you, then I'm good to go with the Father. And if I'm aligned with you and you straight, I mean you straight. I mean, and you straight. I mean, I know you aligned.
Right.
So I can follow that. You feel me? So, and that's why I believe.
Yeah.
We have our ways though, but you straight. I mean, that's one thing about you I appreciate. You've always kept your word as a man.
Hmm. Always.
Yeah, that's cool. And how does honor play a role in resisting temptation? Like honoring God, honoring our covenant, honoring me, you know.
I took an oath, when I got married, when I said I do to my lovely wife. And, God watching me down here, and, that's serious. It's very serious. My wife is my rib, so I ain't gonna find another better rib than that. So I honor God by keeping him first and asking him asking him to tell me how to love my wife and be better for my wife and do better things and think better ways and get better advice, etc.
Last one. For married men listening right now, what practical advice would you give about staying faithful, loving your wife well, and resisting temptation.
It start off with faith. That's why it says faithful. So you gotta start with your faith. Keep your faith first. Not doing negative or messed up things. Not letting it continue on. Just situations, like I said earlier. Think more about positive stuff. That's on resisting temptation. That's my advice on loving your wife, and that's my advice on being faithful and staying faithful.
I say, young man, I really appreciate those answers. That's very, I would say that too. That's good for, men to know that we've been married 8 years and you feel this way about a wife that you've had for, we've been married for 8 years, been together longer than that.
Right.
But it's like having that, like right now you still make me like blush a little bit because that's like, oh, you feel that way? And that's natural though. And he does that all the time. And that's something that I do. When it gets challenging, when it's hard, when I be like, you know what, scratch that. It's this man, he ain't, but it's like, you have to remember the good times. You have to remember when it wasn't what it is, and I do. And it's like these times make me appreciate the times why we didn't want this. We didn't know we didn't want this because we didn't have this right here. That's deep.
That's deep.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, so I hope somebody was blessed by this conversation today. Marriage isn't about perfection. It's about alignment, humility, and daily choices to honor each other and honor God. So I want to leave with you a few questions to reflect on this week. Where do you need to speak less and observe more? What situations have you been taking personal? Where is grace already showing up in your life that you haven't acknowledged yet? And most importantly, do you recognize your umbrella in the storm? Thank you for listening, and thank you for being here, Mr. Jones.
Thank you for having me on the capacity.
Thank you all for growing with us. And if this episode bless you, share it with another couple who might need it. Until next time, stay covered, stay aligned, and stay encouraged. You have the capacity for this.